Hello, guys. So I'm calling this our Eat, Pray, Love. And like, really, how does it look? And let's be clear with what that means, right? So, I've met a lot of expats, in particular Black expats, who like quit all their stuff, moved out here to Africa, moved like wherever they might have moved to. The ones I speak to are obviously here. They are coming out here on some like Black version of Eat, Pray, Love, right? Where it's like, I expect to come to the airport and there's going to be a bunch of Africans with their little signs like, Karibu tena, welcome sister, you are here. And then when they get here, they're like mad disappointed, right? Like, nobody's saying anything to me. I'm not mixing. I'm not getting these relationships that I want. Like one of my girlfriends, Karen, who's out here, we're gonna have her on the show because I really want her to talk to y'all about mental illness and how do we cope and all of that. But she's like a girlfriend of mine in particular I'm thinking about, where she was like, I want to connect with local people and I want to do all of this, but she's like, I'm having a hard time. And I've heard a lot of people say that. Like, even when I moved out here, I was definitely not on nobody's Eat, Pray, Love shit. I was really on some like get rich, die trying, right? Like, for real, right? Like, our goals and our focuses were very different, right? Like, majority of the people that I interact with here are all local, right? There's very few Americans that I really deal with on a real level here. Like, really, my life is like super local, right? So anyway, so sometimes I find it weird when people are like saying all of that, right? Like, I need somebody to like connect, like dating, right? I.e., like, I've got a couple of my girlfriends out here where they're dating local guys and they're still kind of coming back with this, like, I'm not connecting in a real way. Like, they're not understanding certain things that I say. And so in my observations, I kind of came up with a list, right? Now, it is not meant to be offensive at all. If you get offended, maybe do a little inward looking as into why you're getting so offended, because this is not meant to be offensive. This is more like a system to maybe guide you, right? Like, maybe like a system to make you think like, okay, like, what does this mean? What is she saying? So anyways, I have broken it down that there are four, 3, 2, 1 hierarchy of the African that an expat can really connect with in a real way. And the higher you go up in the hierarchy, right, from 1 to 4, the greater the ability to connect with somebody who might have a different background than you, a different culture than you, a different socioeconomic, just all of those things that make people different, but not really all that different, right? But anyways, this is the hierarchy I've come up with. And kind of everybody that I have like laid out my hierarchy to, they would agree with me. So I'm gonna share it with y'all. You could do with it what you like. If you are someone who is considering to move over here, keep it in the back of your mind. I think it might make your transition easier. I think it's going to make it easier for you to really find your tribe. Because the one thing, as someone who moves around a lot, you've got to be able to find somebody that you could kick it with, right? You do have to find your support system. You do have to find your village, your community, your tribe, whatever it is. Because it's going to make your life easier, right? Like, I definitely have a girlfriend here where she's working out here. She's married to you'll soon see in my hierarchy, a level 4. But she's miserable. She hates being in Nairobi. She'll front and tell you that she does, right? Like, if you look at all her media stuff, it's like, come, oh my God, I love it. And then you talk to her in real life, nah, she good. She don't like it out here. And I'm telling you the reason why is I think that she hasn't really found her real community. And maybe she's not being honest with herself. I don't know. It's not my business to worry about all that. I'm just here to give you guys a framework, a little outline to deal with. And you'll do with it what you will. If you like it, like it. If you don't, you don't. It don't matter to me. I'm just telling you what I have observed as somebody who's been sitting out here, who's always going out, always interacting with people, really trying to drum up business, talk to different people. You're going to notice certain things that's going to make it easier for you as an expat to really connect with your local community, okay? So, level one. Level one is your local, right? And this is a person who is purely local. They have never left their country. Maybe they've never left their region. Maybe they've never left their city. They do all local work. They only deal with local people. They have never worked with an expat. They've never worked with a foreigner, whether it is working in their businesses, working with them to do business, interacting, going out, engaging with them, maybe going to an expat's house, like purely local. That's your first level. For me, that is the hardest person to connect with, right? You can use them for working, right? Like maybe you need certain things done. You use them maybe for your secret life, and we talk about the secret life later. But for myself, in terms of my personal and my professional life, I find it very hard to really connect with a level one. Your level two is the local who has now worked with an international company, worked with foreigners in a business capacity. Maybe they have worked with foreigners like in a house. They've engaged with foreigners. They've maybe interacted, however it might be, but they've really kind of done it more than just like a passing, right? Like where it's not like an uskarti, which is aka like a doorman, a gate guard, where they're just seeing you walk by. No, I'm meaning it, for example, my house girl Irene, because now she has been working with me as a foreigner, she sees things differently. Her mind is a lot more open to certain things. And we're gonna do a video with her so y'all can meet her, because sometimes when I tell my American friends I've got a house girl, it's like, you're a slave. And it's like, she ain't a slave, dog. Like, she over here, all right? And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't ever wanna go back to a life without a house girl, like ever, okay? Done. But that's another story. But y'all will meet her because she's excited to talk to you guys as well. Anyway, so that's your level two. Your level three is now the local who has actually traveled outside of their country, right? Where maybe they have gone to neighboring African countries, maybe they've gone to Europe, maybe they've gone to America or Singapore or India. The point is that they have actually left their country, what they know, what's safe, what they've grown up with, and now they're actually going outside to other places, right? Maybe they went for school. I definitely have like a lot of cousins out here where they'll go to London for like school for like their university years, and then they come right back. We're working with one distributor where he lived in India for 7 years. He's now come back. My number two, same, like she's traveled outside to South Africa. She's been to different countries. She's seen how other places work, and now she's come back. Maybe they've worked also, right, with big international companies like Microsoft, GlaxoSmithKline, Oracle, Deloitte & Touche, PwC, just something on that level where now you're meeting different types of people. That's your third. And your fourth is now the local African who has actually not only lived outside, right? Where maybe it's longer than just for university years, but they've actually lived outside and they've worked outside. Where now they are working in different types of cultures, because regardless of whatever, any place that you're in, you're gonna absorb what the culture is, right? As an American who has worked as a lawyer in America, worked in different states as a lawyer, coming here, some of these soft skills out here are lacking, right? As a lawyer being on the West, you already know, if it's like, we're meeting at 2, we meeting at 2. You're not gonna roll up at nobody's 2:45, 3:45, talking about like, yeah, I'm ready for this meeting. An African will do that, y'all. You better get ready for it. An African will do that. You'll have a meeting at 1, they might roll up at 3 o'clock talking about like, yeah, I'm on time. No, that's where that CPT comes from, and it's bullshit, it's garbage. And as a business person, it is incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating, right? Lack of communications, all of that. It's super obnoxious. I'll give you an idea. We were trying to work with a distributor who was a level 1, right? Where he was well known in the local community. He'd been working in the local community, but they ain't never been nowhere. They ain't worked with nobody. I think we were the first sets of Americans they had worked with. Oh my God, shoot me in the head. Bro, we would have meetings at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Homeboy would just rock up whenever he wanted to and see nothing wrong with it. Nothing. And it's like, I'm not gonna be able to do business with you in a real way. I'm never gonna be able to deal with this in a real way, right? When I was trying to work, remember I told you guys, right? Like everything I do second works out better. This was same, a level 1, it was really, really bad. This piece of shit, like, made fake pages and did fake shit just to like mess up our business stuff because I was like, I cannot work with you anymore. And it's like, you got to be able to take your stuff and keep it moving. Now, a lot of the people that I've been able to really be able to connect in a real way, really be able to be like, oh, this makes sense. All of them are real level 3s and level 4s, right? They've worked outside of the country. Maybe they have gone to school outside of the country. They've worked for international companies. They've worked with foreigners, or they have lived outside, worked outside, are able to travel back and forth without issue. Those, for me, as an expat who is here starting a very local business, for me to really be able to find my community and my tribe, they're 3s and 4s. So that's the hierarchy. 1, purely local, never been anywhere. Level 2, local but has worked with foreigners locally. 3, gone to school outside and has come back. And then the 4, lived and worked outside. So use it as you will. You know, like I said, if you're offended, don't be, because that is not what this is. This is just literally my observations and being able to put my observations into a hierarchy that actually makes some working sense for myself. So you're welcome. Like and subscribe right below. TIA Marketplace. Here at our TIA Marketplace, we're going to be talking about everything and all the things that relate to our business and how do we move our business forward. That's why it's called the TIA Marketplace. Want to see you here? Click subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace be with you. Bye.